What's everyone? We're back with another episode of Two Straws.
You did it again.
Did I?
What's everyone? Well,
Did I?
don't know. What?
I said, what's up? I'm not even drunk.
I don't know. What is everyone? That's the question. Are you real people?
Did I really say that?
Bots? We'll check the replay, but it's been a thing. It's like your catchphrase. Yeah. What's everyone?
I think that I'm just speaking really fast.
I think it's like your what's up? You know, like that's your thing. That's it. Just own it. What's everyone? It should be your thing that you say. And it's like a litmus test to see if someone's going to call you on it or not. You know what I mean?
Like I've never been told that I did this before.
It just happened last time and then this time. So I don't know what it is, but it's like your new thing.
I'm working a lot of long hours. I had a long weekend. I've been waking up at 5 every single day.
Every 7 years we renew ourselves, right? So, you know, every 7 years you create a new catchphrase.
Hello.
Hello. What's everyone? I'm a woman.
Are you sure?
I think so.
Are you sure? Because you look pretty good as a man.
I do. So that's funny. Jessica wrote her first skit, wrote and published on our Instagram pages. I applaud you for that. I wish you had an applause button, but I applaud you for that.
I feel like that's one of those things. It's
I don't think I can't tell which one it is. Oh, I don't know what I pressed. No, we got to program it, but but we'll put that in there. That'll be on the to-do list.
Yay.
Good job. I got a lot of people saying that it was really funny. They're like, "Oh my God, you guys are hilarious." Like, it was a well done skit.
Thank you.
Would you like to explain it for the people who might have missed it? The losers.
I can't believe they would miss it.
What are you? What's everyone that missed it? What are they? I'd really love to know. You're not fans.
Definitely not. So what was I gonna say?
Explain your skit for the people who missed it. Just like a brief play-by-play.
Basically, I thought it would be really fun and funny to recreate my idea of what like an internet troll looks like and where they live at, which is the mom's basement.
Shot in my basement. I like to think of myself as my own mom sometimes. No, I have a great mom. I would be honored to live in her basement, but I do not. But I'm sorry.
Fortunately,
continue.
You have your own.
Fortunately.
Yes, and if real estate doesn't I will be renting it out.
Hey, there you go. I will not be making you chicken tendies, though.
Oh,
sorry.
Come on, Ma.
Sorry.
Yeah, but I just always have this. So whenever I see people tweet or comment or anything like that, when they, get a little trolly and a little, nasty and stuff, I automatically have this visualization of like just bums sitting in their mom's basement, mooching off of society, contributing nothing to society. And that's how I make light of it and, make fun of it. Cause sometimes they try and, shoot shit at you that just,
try to bring you down.
Yeah.
To their basement level.
To their freaking level. Exactly what I mean. Sub-zero troll level.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is just like, that was, how I picture trolls when they're trolling.
I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed embodying the troll.
You worked it. I think you got hit on more times than like you would in a sexy post.
We need to
people really, really like you with a beard.
We need to hit the streets with that outfit on. Like me and you on the prowl, like fully trolled out. Like, I don't know.
I feel like we could pull.
I think we could. I think we could. I think we could be deadbeats and still get like a pretty good like 5 to 7 range, type of girl.
Sure, especially at like a dark dive bar.
Mm-hmm. Or
we're taking chicks home.
Or UFC fight night at a bar.
Yes.
Bar night, pay-per-view.
We're taking chicks home.
Hell yeah. Especially if
to
I
the
hit
basement.
That move. Yeah. Don't worry, girl. I got that pull-out mattress.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that was pretty fun. We got to do that. And another funny thing that happened this week was the riverboat brawl. Have you seen that?
No.
So this is actually pretty funny. A number of my white friends have not seen this video because, I don't know, I think it has something to do with the algorithm or something. The algorithm is very racist, and it is empowering. I feel like it was empowering, but it was basically a brawl. There was a bunch of people on a boat, a bunch of black people on a boat, and they were waiting to pull into dock, and there was happened to be white family dock there where the boat was supposed to pull in. The captain got off the boat. He was like, hey guys, can you move the boat? They started calling him racist slurs. They started beating on him. And then a bunch of people started joining in to help the captain of the ship. So it looked like the beginning of a race war. Like, it looked really ridiculous. And then it turned into a WWE match because somebody grabbed a folding chair. One kid jumped off the boat, swam to help the captain. Like, it was pretty intense. So you got to see it because it's like primetime television. It was really entertaining.
Stop it.
It was crazy. So it's become this like viral phenomenon, and you see a lot of people just getting really excited about it. And I think the thing people are most excited about is that we didn't have another incident where people just stood by and watched and let someone get seriously hurt or possibly die. So yeah.
Why were they turning on the captain though?
The captain got out of the ship and he was talking to him, or I don't know if he was like on the dock or whatever, but he was talking to the people and saying, we can't dock unless you move your boat. And it was an argument. You saw some claps happening, when they're clapping, it's
about to go down.
It's a bad sign. And then the best part is the white guy hits him, throws the first punch. The captain throws his hat up in the air and then starts fighting, and everyone's going off like that was the bat signal. Like, he shot that flare to the sky, and the Avengers showed up, all the Black Panthers. Like, it was amazing. So you got to watch it.
I have to. I kind of want to watch it right now. I won't. But that's a lot to think about.
It's pretty long, so you'll have time to watch and enjoy, and then share your thoughts.
We can circle back.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, Jessica would definitely be on the side of the boat people, making sure shit didn't get rowdy because she has always been an ally. So it's a shame the algorithm was racist towards you because you would have loved the video.
Probably would have. But to be fair, my algorithm is like pretty solidified with like nonstop animal videos.
Yeah, no, that's a safe space.
Yeah.
I wish I had that. I'm just getting bombarded by stuff I don't want to see, and I'm like, God, make it stop.
Do you know what's really funny? I was just talking to somebody about this. I was so I started my real estate Instagram, like business professional, so it doesn't have any of the stuff. The RBF is minimal on that page.
Oh
the
attitude, I've seen it.
Minimal.
So many smiles. I'm like, damn, I didn't know you had teeth.
Yeah, I know. There they are. They're actually pretty nice. I had braces.
You should
definitely
get your money's worth.
But it's so peaceful on that business profile.
Yes.
That algorithm is like motivational. Ooh. It is like manifestation, business mindset. Like it's pretty nice. It's kind of like it's a little palate cleanser. It's pretty refreshing.
I need to just make a website, like a page for Butcher, and just do all my scrolling on his account.
Exactly. You need to try that. Estrella and Grace also have an Instagram. It's pretty peaceful on there. Nothing but Malinois.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nothing but Malinois.
There's nothing worse than like going to the things you might like, and you see a picture of yourself getting punched in the face.
Wait, I do not. Dislike.
Didn't like that.
Unlike that.
Definitely didn't like that.
Do you know what it does to me all the time on my like personal page? It always shows me my opponents training. And I'm like, why is this happening?
Because your names have been mentioned in the same like space, in the same articles. So it like conjures up all this like stuff, and it's like, oh, Jessica Penne must be best friends with this person because they're always talking about them together.
We're not friends.
No, we're about to fight each other. I hate that girl.
No, I just strong dislike.
Please, no.
Strong dislike. I do not want to see anything that would make me like her at all, but that always happens. So I always have to stay out of the suggested. I'm like, don't want to do it.
I hate it. I
Get out
hate
of
it
there.
so much. Speaking of fights, let's start with what happened last week. You know, we had some fights yesterday. They were pretty raunchy, but last week we had Sandhagen versus Font. We had
Tatiana Suarez.
Yeah, the strawweight. Suarez back at strawweight and looking pretty mean at strawweight. And Andrade, and she did a number on her. So let's break those down real quick. What did you think about? Let's start with Sandhagen Font.
So I love me some Font. I'm a big fan of his.
Exclamation mark.
Yeah, I'm a huge Font fan. I was really excited for this, and I mean, not saying that I'm not a Sandhagen fan,
Right?
but I just he follows us on two straws. I think that they have.
Does he?
He does.
No, he doesn't.
He does.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm a little biased. I'm not gonna lie. But
Heart emoji. Is that a font? That's not a font. Emojis aren't a font. But
no, but
you know what I mean.
We could pretend. So I was just really looking forward to this fight, and I think that Sandhagen just fought a really smart fight. Mm-hmm. He's received a lot of criticism though with his takedowns and not doing anything with it. It was repeatedly the same thing round after round after round, which it was a frustrating fight to watch because, again, I wanted to see, more striking. Font has beautiful boxing. Sandhagen has pretty tricky punches. So I was interested to see that, but he went with a pretty solid game plan, but he has received criticism. So it's what do you do? Because you have to be good. You have to be exciting. I would say that he is definitely, getting up there with next in line for a title shot. But like, what did this do to his, to his potentially, being that? Because again, and it's an entertainment sport. You have to be entertaining. You have to sell fights. And I don't know if he showed us that, even though he was completely dominant.
Yeah, I get you. And it's kind of like a logjam up there right now with Merab sitting out, with Sean O'Malley about the fight. You have like a handful of people who are all fighting to be noticed. And you're right, that wasn't the fight to get him noticed.
No, he got noticed.
He got unnoticed.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, I do have to commend him because he fought a really strategic fight and he took Rob Font out of his potentially, the potential to win. How he was going to win was going to be through striking because he's excellent at that.
Yeah.
And so he fought strategically, he fought smart, but that's just not enough at this point.
And who was Font supposed to fight?
He had just fought.
Yeah, I know he just fought. He just fought that
Sandhagen,
kid.
Yeah,
that everyone was excited about,
and he beat him decisively. He did a number on him.
Knocked him out.
He did an amazing job. But Sandhagen was supposed to fight somebody.
Oh, Sandhagen was supposed to fight somebody. Okay, I thought Font was getting ready for a fight. Okay. Yeah, and with those last minute replacements, a lot of times people think that the person with the fight camp has the advantage, but they probably had a very focused fight camp for the individual that they were supposed to fight. So, do you remember who Sandhagen was supposed to fight? I could probably find it on here.
But going off of that, and
Umar Nurmagomedov.
Yes, one of the Magomedovs.
Does he do wrestling?
He does.
I think he does wrestling. So it's almost like he wanted to beat him at his own game. If that's what we saw, it's almost like, oh, hey, this also works for Rob Font, even though there are probably other areas we could have exploited on the striking. We've already done a full camp of just being the meaner wrestler, being the more annoying wrestler. Maybe we do this to Font. I don't know. There's a lot of weird strategy things that happen when you're preparing for one person who's a specialist and then you get a totally different type of fighter.
Well, and absolutely correct. And it's Sandhagen's one of those people that's really funky and unorthodox. He has a funky rhythm. His timing is different. He's a hard fight to take on short And I commend people who step up and take fights on short notice because that's I I like to have more time.
You're like, wait, let's check this person out.
I like to simmer. I like to see all of the worst case scenarios in training before I go in there.
Yeah.
I don't like a crash course, but
you might have just liked their photo too.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to be seeing them on your For You page if you just like their photo and now you have to fight them next week. Like that's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a big switch to hit. Like, oh, we're enemies now. Unlike, you know.
Block.
Yes. Mute. I want nothing from you.
No. I won't even make eye contact with you in the hallway.
No, you suck. I might trip you with my bag.
I might. I fucking might.
But I won't touch you with my body parts until we fight. Yeah, that was a tall order. And I kind of feel bad for Font, too, because he had some momentum coming off of the Yanez fight. A lot of people counted him out on that fight, and he got that big knockout. So with this one, it was like that potential to have that Rocky movie moment.
For sure.
You get to fly in, swoop in under the radar, and maybe get a title shot off of it. And unfortunately, he got kind of shut down. And I mean, that could go into Sandhagen's game plan too. He knows this guy is going for broke. He knows he's going to throw with intent every time he throws. So got to shut him down, got to subdue him so he can't restrain him. So he can't even have a moment to steal the show.
Absolutely.
But on the co-main, we had your girl Tatiana Suarez.
I love Tatiana.
Yeah, fighting Jessica Andrade. And dude, okay, I'm trying to figure out, do you feel like Andrade is getting a little sloppier, or is she the same fighter that she's been? Because she looked amazing in the Lauren Murphy fight. That was only January.
Yeah.
Since then, she's lost 3 and has gotten finished all 3.
Yeah, I do not know what is going on with her. I mean, she took a short notice fight, which I'm like, okay, you're fighting Erin Blanchfield on short notice. That's a tall order.
Right.
And I mean, it was like a week or 2 weeks. I'm like, I don't know how much shape she's in.
Yeah.
But at least, it's at 125, so it's not going to be like fat camp.
Yeah.
It's going to be easier for her to make. Yeah, I don't necessarily know what's going on, but I mean, if you look at it, she does cut a ton of weight to make 115. I mean, she started at 135. I remember meeting her in person. She's a big girl. That could be playing in a factor. The way she trains, the way she fights could be catching up with her. I don't necessarily know what's going on. She could have, personal problems, because that sometimes plays into a factor. I don't know what's going on with her, but I have noticed that, and I don't exactly know what it is. But I can say that she has not been fighting like easy matchups. Like these have been really challenging matchups, and Tatiana, is a big 115er.
Yeah,
She
and that's
can compete at 125.
Yeah, and that's why I asked, because it's easy when you start to notice a pattern, and it's not really a pattern. It's just, okay, 3 losses. That's a pattern.
Yeah.
As soon as you notice a streak happening, you're like, what are they doing wrong? What are they doing right? Like if it was a 3-fight win streak out of nowhere, you go, what are they doing right? And it could just be circumstance. And I do think with the level of competitors she's fighting, Zhao Nan one was a big surprise to me, the way she got knocked out in that fight. But when she was coming forward, it looked a little sloppier. It looked a little, not sloppy, but a little more reckless, like she wasn't as concerned about her defense as I feel like she was when she fought Rose the second time, and I think maybe she just feels a little invincible, and then her chin got touched, so now she's been a little more cautious, and then she gets submitted. It's just like this ongoing domino effect of, okay, you're losing a little confidence, and then that lapse in judgment is causing you to drop these fights. And it's just, I think the only reason it raises an eyebrow, because I've had streaks before that don't look that great, is because she's getting finished in all these fights. And it makes me think that there's, I don't know, the focus isn't there as much. Like maybe she's not training outside of camp, and then she's taking these short notice fights, and she's just getting in shape as opposed to actually training skills or trying to learn new things or get better. She just signed this large contract, this 6-fight contract. Maybe she's just desperate to get out of it. Maybe she's desperate to fight through it, rather. And that's why she's taking these bad matchups without thinking twice. So it's I don't know. It kind of makes me sad. Like I know what you're saying. Because of how promising things looked for her after the Lauren Murphy fight, and then 3 fights later, you're like, what is going on with Jessica Andrade? But on the other hand, Tatiana Suarez looked very good on the ground. She really did, and she received her black belt that night, which was
good for her. Really awesome. It makes me I just get really happy because that's like a huge moment. That's a huge accomplishment, and you can win and lose a title, but nobody can take that away from you.
No, nobody. They could take a stripe. But they can't take.
There have been moments where I'll be like, "Here, just take this. I don't deserve this." Yeah. But those are fleeting moments.
Yes,
they happen to everyone. Going back to Andrade really fast. I don't know what it is, but I just know that it is an opportunity for her to reinvent herself. It's an opportunity to maybe take a step back. Get with her team, figure out what's missing, what's working, what's not working, and then it's time for another evolution.
Yeah, that's the one good thing that comes out of just dropping the ball more than once, is that it forces you to look at everything and just kind of get rid of your superstitions and things that might actually be holding you back, that you held on to so hard. Maybe you're loyal to a team that isn't really nurturing you. Maybe you're I don't know, you're on a diet that sucks. I don't know, but there's a lot of superstition that comes in fighting, and when it stops working, sometimes it's hard to throw out those bad habits or those things that you don't necessarily need and look for something that might be a little bit better. So
for sure,
that's I'm hoping she does evolve, from this, and I don't know, find out what it is, if it is anything, if it's not just circumstance that's causing her to get finished so early in these losses.
Yeah, and I do have to say, yes, there's a side of that, but Tatiana, like you were saying, looked amazing. She's been on a tear. She's on a mission.
Yeah.
She's, had these ups and downs with health issues and injuries, and to see her overcome, I think it's really inspiring.
No,
I really do. I'm it makes me want to get off the couch and go train, and it is really inspiring. And I think it's really cool where women's MMA is and where it's come from and where it's going. I just, there were other girls on the undercard this last weekend that, they're all newcomers. They're, showing their stuff. They're super confident. They're, just a different breed. So I think it's really cool just to see the level of competition. And I look forward to seeing Tatiana having the next title shot. I know we have Zhang and Amanda Lemos next, coming up in September, I think.
Yeah, I think September 16th or something.
Yeah, so she's got to be on deck.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she was weighing in, secret weigh in, Sean Strickland or something, or not Sean Strickland. Who was it? Michael Chandler. He was doing the secret weigh in, right? But that's what I was gonna say. If it's not her, it's hard to see someone else kind of skipping the line. Maybe a Zhang Weili, like we were saying earlier, but they both have that win over Andrade now. So it might be a fight between those two in order to see who fights for the title.
That would be a fun fight to watch too.
It would.
That would definitely be.
It would. She did so good against McKenzie. Zhang Weili did. And I did feel like Suarez looked a little uncomfortable before she was able to get Andrade down. And it was almost like Andrade kind of just gave up the takedowns a little bit. She was almost like being a grappler. She's like, you know what? Okay, I'll play off my back.
I'm a black belt. I can do this.
Yeah, and then you're like, wait, no. She's
abort.
She's a side control. How are you in mount already?
How are you doing this?
Wait a second. This isn't what happened in training.
Over.
Wait.
No, we're not doing this.
So I was impressed with Zhang, what's her name? Zhao Ningyan, because she was able to just totally disengage when she was fighting Mackenzie Dern, just like totally get out of danger zone. So I feel like she has the skills to make Tatiana fight through a few rounds.
That's definitely an exciting fight that I would love to see. I would love to see that. Tatiana is still pretty unorthodox on her feet, if you will.
Yeah.
But for what she lacks in that area, she makes up for with her strength in grappling.
Yeah, and wrestler is so good at the overhand right, just because, or overhand backhand, just because you're always dropping your hands because you don't want to get taken down. So there's going to be openings for sure for Tatiana if she wants to let the hands go. Should be fun. We'll see what happens.
It's really exciting.
Super exciting.
Very exciting for the strawweights.
And then another fight night that went down that I'm not proud of purchasing.
I know, I was there. I'm glad we didn't have to do it alone, though.
Yeah, it almost felt like a bargain. Like, I felt like even though I bought it, everyone else was illegally streaming. Yeah.
You do it, I'll do it.
Yeah, peer pressure.
Yeah.
Definitely
Okay,
went
I'm
down.
I'm in.
We all had a sloppy night. Sloppy night of watching sloppy fights.
Yeah, I had to get sloppy to watch that. It was
yeah. I was a little bummed out because the first fight that I actually cared about was Jeremy Stevens versus Chris Alvia.
If you don't know what we're talking about the Diaz versus Paul boxing extravaganza,
which I paid for. I'm only saying that because
Most
you know what
people
happened last time.
Most people didn't.
You know what happened the last time I watched those fights. But I as much shit as I talk, he's putting fighters to work, and I do like that. I like that he has these cards that people actually, want to show up to, that people actually buy. He got it on ESPN Plus this time. It wasn't on some like random app that you had to download and then delete right after you downloaded it. It was on something that you're going to use the next day. So I thought that was a sign of his promotion on the come up.
I don't want to like it, but I have to give him kudos. I have to commend him because what he has done for himself is very impressive. He has done it on the backs of our fellow MMA comrades, which I do not appreciate at all, but I think it is really impressive what he's created. Yeah. And I mean, even though our MMA friends are not doing so well in his promotions, they're still getting paid. And I mean, that's, as a prize fighter who fights for a living, I think that's just awesome.
That is awesome. So
it's awesome, even though it's really hard to watch sometimes and really frustrating.
Yeah.
But I do see that being a huge positive.
Yes, that is how I justify watching something that makes me so sad.
And I just got to say, I love Nate Diaz.
He's amazing.
I love Nate Diaz so much. He was so cheeky in that fight.
He was.
And I know people gave him shit, like love him, hate him, whatever. I loved it.
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't love it from everyone, but I love it because it's coming from him. I'm very biased in that sense.
Well, because he was the first one to do it. Really, back when he was on Tough and trying to escape the house, and now, with the rise of Conor McGregor, he's like, I was the first person to do this. And now everyone's acting like he's this new guy that has this formula that no one's ever done before. And he's been doing it. I've been doing it. Y'all just didn't like me. They didn't like the way I looked or something.
My, how the tables have turned.
Hey.
How the tides have changed.
If he had more guys that wanted to bone him, maybe he'd be more popular.
Maybe.
There's a huge line out the door for guys that want to bone Conor McGregor. Get a little bit of that red panty night.
Dude, can we talk about Conor McGregor is freaking everywhere.
He is
everywhere, and he is grabbing everyone's mic, and they let him. And he is challenging everyone for a fight and promoting all of his friends. I saw him when I was cornering back in Denver for bare knuckle. He walked in like as they were announcing her, and like the whole place erupted. I'm like, what is happening?
Wait, was that when Mike Perry fought?
Yes.
Yeah, because I remember he grabbed the mic from Mike Perry.
Yes. Yes, he is
my mic
literally everywhere. He went there was the Anthony Joshua boxing match.
Yes.
And he went and like gave him like, what did he give him, a beer or something like that in the ring after the fight? And then he was
so he didn't give him proper 12.
Maybe it was. I mean, maybe it was, but I would not take it. Yeah. And
a proper 12 for a proper knockout. It's a proper good time.
He needs to pay you for that.
Hey,
he needs to pay you for that.
I feel like I'm quoting him. I think he said it all night that night. Sponsor us.
And then he was just, maybe it was that same fight card with Anthony Joshua. But he was, promoting his boy Dylan Dennis, who's now fighting Jake Paul. I don't know why this guy is fighting. Probably because he's Conor McGregor's friend.
He's fighting his brother, right? Or is he fighting Jake Paul?
Is he? Wait. Now I'm confused.
I'm not sure.
He's fighting one of them.
Okay, I'll look it up right now. But yes, as you were saying.
But this guy is everywhere. And now I'm going off on a tangent as I tend to do. But now they're talking about, for sure he's going to be fighting Michael Chandler in December. He Conor McGregored his way.
I did hear that.
He Conor McGregored it. But like, we knew that was going to happen, didn't we?
There's still no evidence that he's in the USADA testing pool.
Listen, if you think about it, there are some people who were not in the USADA testing pool that got short notice fights.
Recently?
I remember I was supposed when one of my previous opponents pulled out, we got offered someone, but we're like, no, she is huge and she has not been in the testing pool, but they were still going to give her to me.
Okay.
I forget who it was, but I remember I was like, I need her to be in the testing pool.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No,
I think it's only new signees. And if you were signed to the UFC and you leave, it's to stop people from retiring and then come back with the fully geared out.
A makeover?
Yeah, they're just like, look at me. Look at my big muscly titties now.
I reinvented myself.
I've started doing a lot of yoga.
I'm eating clean, juicing.
Yeah.
And no meat.
Now I look like Uberim. That's, I think that's why, if you're getting someone who's already out there doing steroids, not as scary. You get someone with that UFC money doing steroids, I guess it's a little more risky. So yeah, I think with Conor McGregor, he would definitely have to enter the testing pool before he was able to sign some kind of short notice or whatever. And so far he isn't, according to sources. So we'll see. My thought was that he is in the testing pool and he's just like telling everyone that they can't talk about it. Like he got his lawyers on and he's like, don't tell anyone I'm in the testing pool, as some kind of weird leverage thing.
I mean, maybe because he's all about the mind games. He does like to play with people. He does like to, totally fuck with his opponents, which he's very, very good at. So
I wouldn't put it past them.
It would not surprise me.
Especially because it's been such a subject for the MMA media. I feel like he would just, as a fuck you to the MMA media, he'd just be like, just don't tell them.
Yeah.
Don't tell them. Yeah.
I could see that. Everybody had to sign an NDA.
Because he is getting a little smaller. Like his neck is shrinking a tiny bit.
Maybe.
Or maybe he's just wearing bigger collars. Who knows?
Yeah, I think he had to go up a size.
But it is Tommy Fury who Dylan Dennis is supposed to fight.
Oh, really?
I mean, not Tommy Fury, sorry. No, what's the guy's name? Logan Paul.
Oh, okay.
Not Jake Paul.
Little Paul.
I was just reading Tommy Fury, but Logan Paul, not Jake Paul. So the little guy.
That makes more sense.
The body poker from, Suicide Forest.
That is.
So you don't know who to root for.
With that? How do you recover from that?
You don't know who to root for.
That is fair. That is fair. I mean,
They're both such twats, but I feel like Dennis might be the good guy. Is that?
Bite your tongue.
I don't know.
Bite your tongue. How could you even say that?
Morals are out the window. I have no idea who to root for. I kind of just want the scaffolding to collapse while they're fighting. But
just take them out at the same time.
Dude.
Both of them gone.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. But
no, that's a hard one. Yeah. That's a hard one. I cannot root for either one of them. I just can't.
Oh my gosh.
I can't.
So what did you think of the Diaz Paul fight?
I was so distracted by the fucking commentary team.
Oh.
Gosh damn it.
Which one?
Sean Porter.
Oh, okay.
Bro, no, and he's a good analyst. He's good at commentary, but the past 2 fights that he has called for Jake Paul, he has been like not even close. Not
fair to his opponents.
Like not even saying what he is seeing. He is just like creating a story, and it is really frustrating.
Yeah.
Really, really frustrating.
Yeah. My
but besides
keyboard went off.
Besides that, it was an entertaining fight. Nate guillotined Jake Paul in a boxing match, which I think is hilarious and awesome.
That was so funny.
And he set himself up for the MMA match. Now we're talking about it.
Yeah, and I think that was smart because the boxing portion was very anticlimactic.
Yeah.
There was that one moment where he got dropped, and that just made my heart sink into the floor. I think I checked out after that mentally. It was like when he dropped Anderson Silva. It was later in the fight, but at the same time, I was like, oh, well, even though commentary is really biased, I feel like Anderson is up a few rounds, maybe at least one round, and then he gets dropped, and I'm like,
there it goes.
That's the end of the fight. That's it.
That's all anybody's remember. That's what it scored off of. That's it.
He has that video. He has that clip. Like he dropped Anderson Silva in a boxing match. And then the same thing happened in Diaz fight, but a lot earlier. Mm-hmm. So I feel like mentally I just kind of checked out then. But when he started doing the antics, when he started messing around with like the takedowns and stuff and the guillotine, then I was like, okay. We got this one. If this happens, if this one actually happens, we got this one. For sure. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. Oh, God.
Look what you just did.
Oh, man. But yeah, like I said, I do like the fact that Jake Paul is putting some fighters to work. The Heather Hardy versus Amanda Serrano fight was pretty crazy and violent.
That was the best fight. That was the best fight on the card. Girl, women deliver.
They do.
They really do.
They do. And it makes me sad that women's boxing isn't as popular as men's boxing because in the UFC, we're kind of spoiled. We have the same platform a lot of times. We have close to similar numbers throughout, the range of fighters from kind of popular to super popular. So when I see these super talented female boxers, I'm like, damn, why aren't they put on this pedestal? Why aren't they getting their own pay-per-view fights or their own pay-per-view points? Like, why aren't people just lifting them up the same way they do the male athletes? And you see a fight like that and they're really, at least someone's paying attention and at least someone's like getting them out there, and hopefully it'll create that butterfly effect where you're going to see more fights like that. You're going to see them not have to go to MMA and get taken down and choked out just to make a good paycheck. Like they can actually stay in their sport and put on great fights, technical fights, bloody, violent fights, and make a ton of fans off of that.
I think there is this new wave or this surge of women boxers that are demanding attention through their performances. There really are, and Serrano's one of them. Hardy and she put on a great fight. Probably the most memorable, honestly.
Yeah,
it was very competitive, or maybe not necessarily. Competitive is the right word.
Well, the fact that Hardy hung in there
Yeah.
through the really nasty parts of like the first and second round. I thought she was going to be out of there immediately, but she stood she like stood her ground. She started swinging back. She like made Serrano work. So it was definitely like a fight of the night type fight where, yeah, it wasn't super competitive, but Hardy was never beaten.
Yeah.
And I think that was the coolest part of that fight. The fact that, you know, she couldn't get put away. She refused to, you know, sit down. She just kept coming forward, kept trying to win. And it was really awesome to watch.
Yeah. And I think that the more performances that we have like that on, you know, the co-main, the main, the more it will, you know, bring more attention back to women's boxing. I know it fizzled out for a while, but I think, you know, with some of the big names that we have out there, I mean, you know, we have Michaela Mayer, we have Alicia Baumgartner. I butcher her name. We have these, you know, these big names, Katie Taylor. We have the Serrano sisters. We have these, Sinisa, super bad. Can't forget her. Like there are just some really big names out there.
Yeah,
and they're doing
Clarissa Shields. She just signed PFL deal, so she's getting back in the cage again. Hopefully against some less accomplished grapplers, but but you know, I'm wondering what she looks like round 2 of her MMA career, because she took a break, went out, beat up a bunch of girls, and now she's coming back and, you know, finishing unfinished business. So I'm excited for that too.
Yeah. Well, something that happened this last main event was pretty interesting, and it was Cub Swanson, or no, it was the co-main. Sorry. Cub Swanson, please tell me how to say his name properly after you kill
versus
that fly.
Hakeem Dawodu.
Dawodu. Get it. I don't want to break it.
Fucking flighty, dude.
It's over here. Okay. Cross-eyed trying to get
Keeps
that guy.
hovering.
I know. He wants your beer.
He wants our coffees.
Something that happened in that fight, after that fight, it reminded me why Cub Swanson is such a fan favorite. And that is, he, at the end of that fight, applauded like his opponent was going to get his hand raised. And it very well could have gone that way. It didn't, but Cub was almost surprised. And, you know, after every single, you know, or during every single post-fight interview, you know, the announcer will ask like, oh, did you think you had it? And everybody's like, yeah, absolutely. No doubt. Like, I knew I had it. And he was like, no.
He's like,
I didn't think I did. He went over and like shook everybody's hand in his opponent's corner, like, you know, giving him the nod, like, yeah, you got it. And I just really, I've always been a fan of Cub Swanson, and I am reminded again why I'm a fan of his and why he is a fan favorite.
Yeah.
I just really admired that honesty, that candor, you know?
No, for sure. I thought that was cool of him, because everyone, there's maybe one other person in the last maybe 2 years who said that they didn't think they won the fight, but they did. And how many robberies have we seen or have people claimed to see? So definitely commendable. I can't think of the other guy's name, but he's some crazy looking dude with a beard. But it's super commendable, very rare. People are always protecting their ego, their legacy, what have you. They don't want to admit when they get that win, because they're like, I don't want them to take it away. You know, I got the money. I got the bag. Let's get out of here before they notice. Get taken
away. You can't overturn those.
We got to get out of there. It's
quick before they figure it out.
Yeah, it's super rare that people admit that. So kudos to Cub. I definitely saw it going Hakeem's way. I felt like, if anything, Cub did enough in the third round to steal the third round, but not the fight. And then on the scorecard, I think 2 of the judges gave Cub the first round, which is just like, what? so yeah, I feel horrible for Hakeem, because he's one of those guys on the come up. He's like having great performances, especially when he's fighting someone at his level. Then he'll get to step up and, you know, either have a great fight or maybe it's kind of close like this one, but I don't know. I just felt horrible for him, and at least it happened against someone like Cub, where people will remember that. They'll remember, oh yeah, he lost the Cub, but even Cub admitted that he didn't think he won. So that might do more or just as much for Cub's legacy as it will for Hakeem's. The fact that he put that out there and he allowed people to think that way, because a lot of people just parrot what they hear. If the commentator says something, if the commentator says that Hakeem is robbed, they'll say that he was robbed.
Yeah.
If they say it was a close fight and it could have gone either way, that's what the fans will say.
Yeah.
A lot of people are just hearing an expert talk and they're repeating that because they don't really know what they're looking at. They don't understand fights the way we do, the way that fighters and coaches and you know, some of the judges do. So it's cool that he put that information out there.
I appreciate it. On that note, we'll be back with our exclusive footage.
Yeah.